Something only I would understand for today, Saturday, December 14th, 2019. So, Stephen A. Smith went on and did the Breakfast Club interview on Thursday, I believe it was, and he was talking about Carmelo Anthony. And he was talking about how Carmelo Anthony was released at the 10th game of the season because analytics guys, they judge everything in 10-game increments. And so if you don't meet the standard for those 10 games and you're not too big of a contract, so the math works out to cut you or trade you, they're like, all right, I'm off him. I can't think of a stupider thing to do. I'm going to offend a lot of analytics people. The math don't matter. I'm going to say it again. The math doesn't matter. I'm going to be clear here. Yes, there is something to stats. There is something to analytics because there is something to having more information, giving you different chances and giving you more chances. Better is the word I would not use. I don't believe it gives you better chances. All I've heard for the last 5-6 years in the NBA, well, this Golden State team would absolutely crush the early 2000 Lakers even with Shaq because 3 is more than 2. And we're just all about numbers. You think guys didn't try to shoot threes and get Shaq and Kobe out the game in the early 2000s? You think Reggie Miller wasn't trying to shoot threes and beat them in the NBA Finals? Okay. All right, I guess. You're right. You're right. Clearly, this team was just... Anyway, that's not the point here. Stats are different. Give you different and more choices, not better choices. If you've ever read any manga or watched any anime, we're always given a power source of sorts. I could go Yu Yu Hakusho and it's spirit energy. I could go Naruto where it's chakra. I could go Dragon Ball Z where it's ki. Take your choice. Right? If you want to get quite literal, Gundam was how much of your big robot you had left. That's how I feel about stats in the NBA. And how I feel about analytics in the NBA. Because just like in anime and manga where that power source gets tweaked or misused or we just forget that it's there and break all the rules about it anyway, that's what happens in the NBA. Carmelo Anthony can score from anywhere on the court. That's not in analytics. Analytics don't tell you that he is viable from the post, viable from the foul line, viable from the three-point line. I'm saying viable. Don't kill me on, I understand he's not Steph or Clay from the three-point line, but viable from the three-point line. Carmelo Anthony could score 15 to 20 points a night, even if he's just a bench player. Let's say it's 10 to 15 if you only want to play him 15 minutes a night, 16 minutes a night. Carmelo Anthony is not judged by the analytics or by his stats. No player should truly be judged by his analytics or his stats. And especially over a 10-game sequence, what if I only gave an anime character 10 episodes to get better? A lot of trouble, right? Melo is, still one of the most high-end players in the league as far as offensively, given the chances. And that's with a decline. I acknowledge the decline. He is not the Carmelo Anthony we saw in 04-05. He is not the Carmelo Anthony we saw in 2010 to 09, 2010 with those Nuggets seasons. He is not even the 2012, 2013 Melo that was with the Knicks. He's not. That's fine. That Melo was an MVP level player who could get you 30 a night. But the idea that because of analytics and 10 games, that Melo is still not good from post, good from mid-range, good from three-point land? We're just completely giving up on him because analytics said to do so after 10 games? Do you know how bad Yusuke Urameshi was after 10 episodes? Do you know how bad Naruto was after 10 episodes? You know, I think it's funny because all the analytics guys, it's, and I don't mean to offend here, but if it comes off offensive, it's probably true. Math is one of the subjects that we're told our whole lives. You're going to always need to know this. You need to know math. It's right there. Math, English, boom. Those are the two big ones. If you go to a college, they make you take an assessment test strictly for math and English. And yet like 90% of jobs don't require you to really have more than literally just to be able to count. If you can count and then do the 4, add, subtract, multiply. If you can do that, that's 90% of jobs. I work on QuickBooks every day. As long as I can add, subtract, multiply, divide, the computer takes care of everything else. I really don't even have to know how to do those things. It's just a nice double check confirmation in my head. And I'm pretty decent with numbers. But most jobs, numbers really don't matter. But they matter to the analytics guys who are trying to prove a point that our numbers are bigger than the game. You know what's never mattered? Efficiency has never mattered in the league outside of some centers until this new era of the league. Because we have the math guys. And efficiency and these stats and these advanced sabermetrics are really only important to them, and it's turned some marginalized players into above average players because they're like, oh, well, he hits 3-pointers at a 38% and he plays defense at a 1.4 better than his counterpart. No, he is still just a marginal player. He can still bear the fundamentals of the game of basketball. He is still below average at. And let's also nip this in the bud here too. This is the biggest reason why I don't care for any of these math things, because it's similar to in an anime or a manga when the power source, I call them shonen moments, when, you know, friendship or the will to win just overpowers you and you get super strong, you start doing all these crazy things. In the NBA, the equivalent to that is how defense has deteriorated. I've had to listen to the last 5 years about how efficient LeBron James is. Oh my gosh, how can he be this efficient at year 15, year 14? Do you see the way guys play defense? Do you see the way LeBron James plays defense? And I don't want to go strictly at him. But if you see the way guys play, James Harden was just talking the other day. Oh my gosh, once again, math guy. The numbers I put up were historic. Giannis had a good season, but man, I put up historic numbers. Of course you did. Nobody cares to play defense, and the couple guys who tried to play defense on you all got called for fouls. I get it. It's almost like all the math guys in the league were, remember when you were in class and your teacher would give you it'd be usually early on, they'd give you a math worksheet and it was just a whole bunch of problems, right? If you were learning multiplication, give you a whole bunch of multiplication problems. Learning division, a whole bunch of division problems. And they would say, hey, they'd say, hey, do them all. You got 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever your time limit was. Or if we could do them fast. And there's always those couple kids who are just like, we're done fast. Just, paper, just like, they were done. That's what this feels like. It's like the race to see who can do more numbers and more problems and who can do it faster than the other guy. And let me tell you, whatever the name of your math teacher was that told you were going to use this the rest of your life, and that apparently drilled into your head, and you're like, oh, I got math the rest of my life, it don't mean nothing. You don't use math for 90% of the jobs that you have. Melo, take the math out, is still better than 90% of the NBA. Efficiency, these just unneeded and unnecessary sabermetrics or advanced analytics don't matter. It doesn't matter. Yusuke ran out of spirit energy, and the will to live kept him going. Melo could suck at advanced, I keep getting one to say sabermetrics and analytics. Sabermetrics more used for baseball. But the sabermetrics or the advanced analytics don't stop Melo from shooting a mid-range jump shot and being real good at it.